Well, build my gallows and build them high, makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello folks, welcome to Quick Bang. I'm Matty, your host for tonight. We are talking about Hibs 3-1 win in the Scottish Cup over Queen of the South. Fortunately for the Hibs, we did not face the mighty Florida Rangers, so we have progressed to the next round. Ewan, we're going to kick off with you. We've got a busy night ahead, so what was your take on the game?
Aye, good. I mean, job done in it. Lower league opposition, and they've obviously dealt with some big clubs recently. But the first half hour or so was pretty pish, but I thought from sort of 30 minutes to 80 minutes, we were actually really, really good. Like, I was really impressed with the second half, especially I hate James McFadden as a commentator, but I think he got spot on. The attitudes were spot on. We won all the second balls, and some of the football we played was excellent. And for a while, it looked like we were going to miss chance after chance. Then obviously Macy has one thing to do, and he does it. He does it really well, and then we get our act together and get the 2 goals, and we just see the game out. The Queen of the South goal was iffy defending, a bit like the Livy and Ross County games. But again, let's just give the benefit to the fullback and say it was a really good finish, and let's try and be positive. But job done, and given the next 2 rounds that have already been drawn, I think tonight is probably going to be the hardest game of them all, to be honest with
you. How pivotal did you think Macy's save was? Because that was 1-0 at that point, wasn't it?
Huge, because I thought I thought we'd been really, really good, and then I felt like everything was just going inches past the post, and it came out of nothing. Really good save, and I think Macy's been good in the 3 games that he's played. And I know Jack Ross said during the week that he wants to keep Macy and Dabrowski at the club. So I think he's certainly done himself any harm tonight.
And do you know what height he is?
I think he's 6'7", but it's not been mentioned.
Aye, surprised about that. Nice one, Ray. What was your take on the game, mate?
Thought our goalie was really tall.
Good.
No, it was excellent. Let's be honest. First, I don't know, whatever, say 20 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever. Not so good. But in saying that, in that period, I was quite impressed with, for instance, Gogic sort of breaking things up for them. I mean, we weren't going to go down there and just get the walk off the park. The park isn't the best either. That's not going to help us. However, both teams got to play in it. So let's not sort of make excuses for that. I felt that as the game progressed, particularly in the second half, we were very good. We'd evidently been told to get shots off at half time, because we could see that happening a lot more. And also, I would say Jackson Irvine had been told to get further up the park and push almost into just behind the strikers, which, because there was no need for him to be so deep in the first half. He was sitting in there, Gogic was doing that job, Newell was back there as well. So it made sense for him to go further up the park. I don't understand why he wasn't doing that in the first half anyway. But once we got going, once we were flying, let us say, I felt we could have scored even more. I was quite impressed with us. And I tell you what else was nice, was sort of looking at the bench and then seeing the likes of McGuinness coming on, Cadden coming on, even Dre Wright. You're sort of going, oh, this is great. Having the ability to bring these guys into the game, rest players, because we've got the other half of the Ugly Sisters on, is it Sunday? I'm not sure when we play them.
Sunday, I think.
And let's be honest, go down to Stranraer, get a result, because they've just beat a really, really big team just not long ago. I can't remember. They're a massive team. I can't remember their name now, but they are huge. They're enormous, massive team.
It was Rangers, was it not? Our Rangers.
I think it was a sort of a derivative of that. Some sort of I'll not use the word trouble.
Fair enough. Right, that seems a good point to move on then. Andy, what was your take on the game?
It was much better than what we've watched all season. 25 minutes, as someone else said, to 80 minutes. I was so at ease with them. I wasn't worried about them. I was excited by what they were doing. First half was a wee bit longer, but in the second half, they got the ball down, they passed the ball with Jackson Irvine, as was mentioned before. Nisbet done well without getting a goal. Doidge took his 2 goals really well, and that must be a big confidence booster for him, because for me, watching Doidge, gives his all, works hard, but he looks nervous sometimes when he gets the ball. He looks unsure, uncertain what he's going to do with it. But today, 2 really good finishes. Second one was fantastic, but for me, the first one, he's placed it into the bottom corner. I know he's not too far out, but it's still a very, very good finish.
Mm. And what pleased you most about the game?
Just the control that we had over Queen of the South. It would be easy to go down there and give up control, even though they're in the league below. But on that pitch, we first 20 minutes, we never really took many chances. We went long, but the control that we had thereafter was fantastic, and it's something that I've not felt that Hibs have had for the majority of the season.
Good stuff. Charlie, over to you, mate. What was your take on it?
As professional as it comes, I think, as the guys have said, I think the first 20 minutes we were just getting used to the surface, and we were almost 1-0 down when Dobby ballooned it over the bar. So nice to see that went wide. And just the second goal was the killer, I felt. Could have gave away a penalty. I think it was 15 seconds before that, and just the pass from Newell was unbelievable to set Doidge up, and usually he misses them. So I think his goal the other week there has given him a massive confidence booster, and hopefully he can score again on Sunday.
And what do you think was the big difference for like the slow start that we had to the first half, the kind of whirlwind performance in the second half?
I think it might have been the halftime team talk, and also getting that goal right before halftime was massive as well. So very happy with that tonight.
Ideal. Tracy, what was your take on the game?
Wait till I mute myself. Yeah, no, like everyone said, professional performance, really played as a team. I think each week we sit here and there's like a lot of individual performances, but I think collectively we were good tonight, especially in the second half. Great to see Doidge. I was really pleased it was Nisbet and Doidge on from the start as well, because I loved that partnership. And it was great to see Doidge because he's had quite a tough week. If anyone's seen his social media, and I'm sure he's probably dedicated those goals to his friend that he's lost.
That's nice. I hadn't actually seen any of that, Tracy. So that's it's good for him to score and be able to do that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So just someone that he played with, obviously quite young as well. So I think it's been a tough week for him personally. So great to see him get on the score sheet as well. And
was that as good as you've seen us play this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all know what it was like in the Championship. We've come off, 3-0 defeats from Queen of the South. I think the first game we took Molly to was Queen of the South. We got beat 1-0. And I think she was considering whether she should come back.
We've all been there.
Yeah, so, it wasn't a tie. I was going into thinking, we're going to absolutely, walk this. And obviously they had a good result against Hearts in the Championship just the other week as well. So, they are capable of, pulling out a result. But I think, once we got that first goal, confidence was there, great team performance. And I just think, we were fantastic, really professional.
Nice one. Dave, what was your take on it?
So just similar to what the rest of the guys have said there, to be honest, I thought the first half was really scrappy, and I know that Jack Ross said at the end of the game there that he thought that was down to the conditions, but we talked about it on the last quick bangs that you get nothing out of Newell when he's sitting so deep in the game, and he's a different player in the final third. And honestly, for the first 30 minutes, you thought he was more worried about his hair than he was worried about the actual football, you know what I mean? But the second half, once you get him further forward in the pitch, it's just chance after chance they're creating, and as the guys have said, the second half performance was top notch, to be honest. We moved the ball really quickly. We got it down on the deck. There was no more long balls. I mean, when it's that windy, playing long balls just seems absurd to me.
Yeah.
But get the ball on the deck. They're saying it's a bad surface and all the rest of it. It's still an Astro. So it's still going to be, even as bad as it is, it's still going to be better than the Easter Road right now, which has, been covered in mud and holes and all the rest of it for the last, 3 or 4 weeks, So getting the ball down quickly, playing it quickly, moving it quickly, and just a transformational performance in the second half compared to the first. And we could have had 5 or 6, to be honest. And to be fair, their goal just comes from pretty much 10 players, or 9 players of ours are in their half. Everyone's trying to get another goal. And they've punted it through, and I think Hanlon's left in a 2v1 with Porto trying to recover as well. Hanlon should do better, but that's just because everyone's trying to push forward and get on the goal act,
I think
great performance
with Hanlon in that situation. Because the first view, I was like, he's going to do better there. But then you're looking at it, and you give the attacker a bit of credit for how he's moved Hanlon. Hanlon can't dive in because he gets sent off and you're 3-0 up. There's no point in getting sent off at that point in the game. So I thought he was in a bit of a no-win situation, Hanlon, there. Unless he was perfect with his tackle, he kind of was hung out to dry a wee bit, I thought.
Aye. We just lost a wee bit of composure for 10 minutes where, our whole midfield were just pushing further and further forward. And you just need Godjic to do his job and just, sit in front there and just marshal it. But, they all fancied a goal, so that's what happened.
Aye, I'm not complaining because it was a good attacking display.
Aye, definitely.
Jamie, what was your take, mate?
I thought they played well. It's definitely an explosive second half with chance after chance. Congratulations to Dodge. He's definitely worth man of the match today. I didn't have any fears going down there. I know loads of fans were a bit worried about getting put out after the hilarity at Hearts, but I couldn't see where they were going to beat us. A couple of good players had a couple of good chances, but aside from that, we pretty much dominated the game, and so we should. It's going to be an interesting couple of games because we should be doing the same thing as Stranraer in the Cup, and I would expect to, Motherwell, they're just either good or they're shite. So depending on what team we play there, that's you in the semi-final. So it was a good performance. Good to see McGuinness. I thought he'd done okay when he come on as well. I think he's going to be huge for us, probably next year. But we seem to be strong all over the park, and I do think Hanlon got a bit of undeserved stick. I mean, the forward players done really well. Someone said he was too square when he was standing sideways. I couldn't quite get my head around that. He's getting slated on a couple of WhatsApp chats that I've got, but unfairly, I thought the team done really well. Through it in the next round, that's all you can really ask for.
Good performance, all. And Colin, what about you, mate?
I think there's much more to say, really. It was quite easy in the end. The first 10 minutes wasn't great.
No, sure, carry on, Colin.
Aye. Liam.
Aye, thanks for that, Colin. That was a nice hospital pass. Cheers. No, I think the first sort of half hour we looked like a team that hadn't played a game of football in 16 days. I thought that was quite telling, and I don't think the pitch or the conditions helped much either. I think it's interesting though. After half an hour, we just seemed to pick up some intensity from absolutely nowhere. I don't know where that came from, but all of a sudden we just decided to turn it on. And I think a few other folk had said that they weren't so sure about Joe Newell playing deep, but actually him being in that deep position allowed him, I think, to dictate the tempo of the game a little bit more and allowed us to pick it up a wee bit. And I think the difference that was made from that half hour point onwards is we were getting the ball wider quicker and using Boyle and Doig down the channels. And if you look at when we've been most effective over the last few weeks, I think it's been when Boyle and Doig have got the ball in the channels and either had a run at a man or been running onto the ball. And I think coincidentally, I think that's how we'll need to set up against Rangers as well, because I think we saw when we had a bit of success against them the last time, it was with Boyle and Doig kind of holding back their two fullbacks from coming forward by playing quite high up. So there's a lot to be positive about. It was a good performance, and great to see Doig score again. Like everyone said, I think there's been quite a few very vocal Hibs fans who've been criticising him a lot the last few weeks. And I think a lot of that criticism has been way out of line. So I think it was really good to see him again prove the doubters wrong.
Nice one. Colin, do you want to come in with not better point? That wasn't your fault. It was me being a smart ass. So Do you want to come in with something now?
Nah, not really. I was just thinking, there's nothing to say. There's too many here. Everybody's covered that. Deutsch was good. There was loads of good players tonight. Gogic was good. Newell was good. Boyle was good. Irvin was good. And Deutsch took his goals really well, because it is, I can't remember if it was maybe Charlie says, when he's running through like that, you think, just get to Nisbet. But he finished it really well. But aye, it was just, I don't know if anybody's seen Johnson after the game still trying to claim it was a penalty. Like,
No, what was your take? Do you
just
think
watch
there was
it.
any chance of a penalty for it, Colin?
No. He had his hand on his belly, that was about it. And it's like, if you're going to come out on the telly, go and watch it before you come out. He comes out and says, I've not seen it again, but it looked like there was contact. Come on, watch it then. And then Jack Ross came out, he watched it, says there wasn't a penalty.
Aye.
Just watch it before you make an arse of yourself. That would be my advice if Alan's watching.
And Brian, if you're listening as well, because that helps with the podcast. For a few years they watched it. It's always nice, Kaiser, when somebody goes down very easily in one box and the team that's been defending goes up the park and scores. What was your take on the game overall?
It's even better when Alan Johnson is the manager, isn't it?
This is true.
No, do you know what? It's kind of as obviously Colin's saying, a lot of good points have been made. So, first 30 minutes or so really flat. I thought we were trying to play it for the back too much. There was nothing coming for the midfield in terms of delivery and stuff like that. I think that's where we were going a bit awry, and as somebody said, it just looked like we hadn't played football for a while, but then got that goal. That was kind of against the run of play. And then we got into the second half and we were Barca-esque. We'll see some of that. I think that's the best second half performance I've seen this season for Jack Ross. Like actually do think, like, I was sitting watching that stunned with my mouth open going, oh my God, this is brilliant. And I know it's Queen of the South and stuff like that, but what a performance. And everybody was going for it. They didn't sit back and play off of Queen of the South. They just all went for it. High press. Maybe if that's against a better quality opposition, it would catch you out. But against Queen of the South, we had them on toast. And I think the only thing stopping that from being 6-7 goals was the fact that the wind was blowing a gale. Because you've seen some of the strikes coming in and they were just pinging right up in the air. And I think that was just because the wind caught the ball.
Aye, nice one. Leon, come to you next, mate.
Aye, what do you say? Everybody's made a fair point about it. Just first 20 minutes, obviously we were trying to get into the game, weather, walk at the pitch and that. Seen a few things on Twitter, folk were getting a bit worked up after 10 minutes, and I was like, we've not kicked the ball for how long? Okay, let's get into this. And second half, we just swept them aside. So going forward, we were looking dangerous as anything, and hopefully we can take that into the game at Ibrox and get a result through there.
Aye, nice one. And Lee, what about you?
Well, firstly, it's nice to have Jack Ross on the podcast. Liam making his points as well. So I'll just get that in first and foremost. No, I think the BBC were there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? They were there to see a cup shock, and at the end of the day, it never happened. And I was fearful at the weekend that this might be a bit of a slip, but we played absolutely brilliantly. I think it was interesting because Marvin Bartley made a lot of good points at half time, and it's like we had him on loudspeaker in the dressing room because Hibs completely changed in the second half. And obviously that's just like what Kaiser said there, that is the best attacking performance I have seen from Hibs under Jack Ross. It was brilliant. It was great to watch. I think that's all what we would love to see on a weekly basis, if I'm being perfectly honest. There wasn't really many negatives at all to the game. And it gives me real optimism that we can definitely have a really good cup run this season and cement that place in third place. So, no, really overall good performance. Delighted.
Nice one. For me, it was the sort of, how to describe it. Do you know, we sort of played as if we were the better team. Do you know, like we had the confidence to say we were a team that was sitting third in the league playing against a team that was a league below us. Especially the second half, there was different, clear levels between the two teams. And I think it's good when Hibs do that, when they turn it on and just go, okay, well, we're here to play our way and dominate the game.
I think the other good thing, Matt, just to finish, is I was quite impressed with the goalkeeper. We were looking for a goalkeeper in the summer, and whatever Matt Macy needed to do tonight, even though he didn't have a lot to do, he done really well. Great save, obviously, for the one-on-one. He was unlucky with the goal, although it did come for a right back, and I think he's been off positive about Paul Hanlon there, but I thought he was shite for it. But overall, as I say, I thought the keeper was great tonight, and definitely give him a chance to win a deal.
Good stuff. Dave, you've got your hand up.
Just the Amy McDonald's husband after the game actually slagged off the keeper and said the keeper should have done better there. I mean, I don't know. It's not for me. I mean, it's the guy's through, he hits it outside his foot. It looked like he actually got touched here and he just went past him. But I thought the keeper was great. I've liked him every time he's been on, so I don't have an issue with. If we were to keep him, I'd be delighted, to be honest. And I like Kevin DeBrusque as well. I think he's a good wee keeper. So there's I've no issue with Ofer moving on, and I think we've got two good replacements in there, to be honest.
And you think with the size with Richard Foster's glasses, he would have got a decent enough view. Maybe to try to make the save. Ray, you got your hand up there.
It's the same thing as the keeper. I think what's happened is as the players broke through, the keeper's naturally going, he's going to take this with his right foot. But he obviously hasn't realised that the guy hasn't got a right foot, which is why he took it outside his left. And I think it's just throwing him. That's all that is.
Aye. Didn't matter in the end anyway. So into the next round, which is the most important thing, where we face Stranraer. So a tricky away team. Dave, do you think we're going through that round?
100%, yeah. What I would like us to start the game the same way we started the second half, to be honest. and actually, you know, let's get 3-0 up in the first 20 minutes. Playing the way we've played for like 30 minutes in the second half would absolutely blow most teams away outside the top two. Just with playing with that kind of that kind of tempo. I don't know why we've not done that in so many games. And I know people had a discussion the last time about the fact that people are saying that we've not been consistent enough, and then somebody saying there's actually consistency in the games. We have been consistent over the season. There's no doubt with that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be third. But there is these spells in games that we go from looking really ordinary to then looking fantastic, and it's how you get that full at least 80-minute performance.
Aye, Ewan, we'll come to you. You got the final word, and we'll wrap up once we hear from you, mate.
I think just on the back of what Dave said there, I think building into games, I think something that Jack Ross has spoke about a lot this season. I remember right at the start of the season, we went to Celtic Park and we were wide open and we could have very well been well ahead in the game, but we ended up going in at half-time 2-0 down. And from that point on, he spoke about building our way into games, and we've seen it a lot this season where I thought we were good tonight, but it was very similar to Motherwell away when we scudded them. Was it 3-0, 3-1? And the first half was pretty average, and then the second half, I think there's probably for me anyway, there's definitely an acceptance that I don't really expect Hibs to be 2 and 3 goals up inside half an hour. I think we come out and try to play after 10 minutes or so, but then we just build our way into games, knowing that our quality will shine through eventually is the biggest thing, and I've come to accept that after not accepting it earlier in the season.
I'd quite like to see us 3-0 up after 20 minutes, but it doesn't matter as long as we're 3-0 up at some point. Right, that's us for tonight. Thanks everybody for coming along and sharing your views. I'm sure everybody's happy tonight, so off to get a wee celebratory drink. We'll be back with Longbangers tomorrow. We can review the game in depth, and then Short Bangers on Thursday. So if you've got any Raj questions, please do drop us a wee note on Twitter. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next time.
County line, I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink what I know.